Welcome back. In this tutorial we're going to cover entity selection in AutoCAD. So one thing to note is when you hover an object with your cursor, it does highlight. So I've got a circle and it'll give you a preview of what it is, some other information that we'll get into later, but here I can see I've got a line and a couple other line segments. So the first way that we can pick, if we want to pick one thing, we can just simply move our cursor over it and select with the left mouse button. Then we can do whatever we want. We can grab it by its grips, we can modify it. We'll get into all this later. But for whatever reason we want to select that geometry, direct clicking is one way to do it. To clear that selection, simply hit the escape key and your selection is cleared. So if I wanted to select this arc and this circle, I can do that, and if I want to then unselect that, I can click escape. Now if I want to click multiple objects at once, I have 4 different options as far as windows. So if I click my left mouse button, and this is important, do not hold it down. If I click and I move my mouse down and to the right, or any direction and to the right, we see I get this blue box that pops up. Now that blue box tells me that I have what we call a regular window, and that only selects objects that are fully contained inside the blue square or rectangle. So now if I move my mouse down farther, I can see that I then get this line and then the longer line, but it will not pick the circle until I'm fully inside the box. So we can see that that goes away. If I move a little more, I get that line. So now I can pick those items, but the key here is to not hold down the left mouse button. Just click and let it go. Escape to clear my selection. Now if I click up in the right hand side of my geometry, let go, and now I have a green box with a hidden line around it. This is called a crossing window. And a crossing window selects anything that the window crosses, hence the name crossing window. So depending on what I want to select is going to determine which window I pick. Those are 2. Now, the other 2 get a little more tricky, but they're very helpful depending again on the situation. If you hold the mouse button down, now I have what's called a crossing polygon. And notice that I went counterclockwise with that direction. Now anything that it crosses inside this irregular shape will become selected. Again, escape to clear my selection. Moving the other way, depending on the direction that we go, will give us a regular polygon. Now, one way to make sure that you get the window that you want is by entering a command. So if we were going to erase some of this geometry, we'll go to the erase tool, and now I can type in WP, and that will get me a window polygon. And likewise, if I was to type in CP, enter, that will give me a crossing polygon guaranteed. So sometimes they don't like to behave depending on the way that you move the mouse cursor, and that WP CP is a way to make sure that you get what you want. That concludes this tutorial. We will see you in the next one.